Welcome everyone to another video for Vampire the Eternal Struggle. Today we are going to look at the Toreador clan, okay, the vainglorious clan who, just vain. Now, these guys have got a lot going for them in regards to their abilities. They can use presence, they've got speed with celerity, and they've got Auspex, which allows them to intercept and see things happening quite quickly, and they can respond to them quite quickly. Now, with this, there's various ways that the Toreador can go. In this deck that you get out of the V5 5th edition, which is all the decks that we're covering in this, they are set up as a voting deck, and we're going to go see that, okay? So first of all, the vampires, Bret Stryker. This is one of the vampires that you would most likely want out. But more likely you're going to want Catalina Vega. Now there's 2 copies of her. Alright. And the other one that you'd want, if you don't see the other 2, is Flávio. Alright. Now mainly because Catalina is the only one that has all 3 of the main clan disciplines at superior, so it'd be awesome if you can get her in the opening Crypt. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards which are your main choices for getting one of these out. Now probably Bret is the least of the 3 because Bret has no votes, okay? Gets -1 intercept against title vampires as well. You only want Bret out for the 2 main disciplines at superior. Catalina is a Camarilla Prince, and Flávio is a Prince as well. Then we have some lower gen vampires. Oh, and the important thing about you don't want Bret. Look, if you had to get Bret out, you would get Bret out under one of the other options. Let's just go with Catalina and Flávio being 8th generation and 7th generation, okay? So please excuse me in regards to what I said about Bret. Look, if you need to get a vampire out, Bret's the optimum choice after the other 2, no doubt. Alright, so Kathy, just normal vampire with 1 in-clan discipline at superior. We've got Massimo Falconi, normal vampire, no titles, nothing at superior. We've got Min-Seo, nothing special either. Mkhokheli. Now, Camarilla Prince of Cape Town, alright? 1 discipline at superior, 6 cap, doing okay. Now when I say, no vampire of relevance type thing, there's 2 of Mkhokheli, so I'd probably put him as, look, if you had none of the other options, you'd want him in the opening Crypt, just for his presence ability for the voting. And 1 on the front of the card was Nik Sicko, so they didn't put the main vampire up on the front of the packet, it was just something for the artwork to represent the clan. And then Tamoszius, interesting. Alright, so we've got a 5 cap here with 2 disciplines at superior. If I was to get Bret back out, same disciplines, 4 cap, but with a neg 1 intercept, I would think spending the extra point on Tamoszius would be worth it well over Bret. Same disciplines with 1 extra and doesn't get the neg 1 intercept. So, on a point for point scale, hope you get Tamoszius and not Bret. Look, Bret seems to be okay. I don't know why I've stuck on Bret. Mainly because I was the first one on there. Alright, let's keep going anyway. Aire of Elation, you get 2 of these in the deck. Only usable during a bleed action. I'm going to read the card now. You can hold one up. Okay, +1 bleed with an additional +1 bleed if this vampire is a Toreador. Does cost 1, as you'll see the blood symbol in the bottom there. And at advance, +2 bleed with an additional +1 bleed if the vampire is Toreador. It is also limited, so you can't increase the bleed on that. Unless you're getting stealth on that, or they're fully tapped out and can't awaken. I can't see that getting off successfully too often, otherwise it will get bounced. Art Museum, locked during your influence phase to add 1 blood to a Toreador in your uncontrolled region. Very good. Now, if I was talking about Bret, this is the way you want to get Bret out, okay? Not with your own pull if you can help it. Now, in regards to the voting, we've got 4 cards for Bewitching Oration. Only usable during the polling step of a political action. This vampire gains 2 votes, or at advance gains 4 votes. So when you're in the middle of voting and you're tallying all the votes and the table's either not going your way or they're very cautious, you can slap that down for the +2 or +4, really helping your vote get through. Change a target. I love this card. Take a look at this. So when you're going for an action, you might set up for a bleed just to tap the opponent out. Only usable if this minion is blocked before block resolution. Unlock this acting minion and the action ends unsuccessfully. The minion cannot perform the same action again this turn. So it might seem bad, but if you've got a vote in your hand that you want to get off, you might go for a bleed action, thereby tapping their vampire. Then you untap your vampire and then go for the vote, hoping that they don't have a wake and are going to stop that. They shouldn't normally expect it. There's only 2 in the deck. So out of whatever, how many cards this is, about 90 cards. Actually, I think this is about 70 odd cards. You can add another 12 or so to it. Yeah, you wouldn't normally be expecting it from the main deck that you get straight out of the box. Alright, Consanguineous Boon, the first of the votes that we're coming up against. Choose a clan. Guess what clan? Toreador. You can choose any clan, but successful referendum means each Methuselah gains 1 pull for each vampire of the chosen clan they control. Now, you might choose another clan because there is another card available during voting that gets you pull for the amount of votes that your vote passed by. So you might, needing the votes of another clan, say the other clan, they get their allotment, which might be 1 pull for each vampire of the chosen clan. So, you know, they might have 2 or 3 vampires out, but with their votes getting through, you might slap down Bewitching Oration, get another 4 votes, and then play your other card that allows you to get pulled based on how much a vote passed. So while you're giving that person 3, you might be taking 4, 5, even 6 pull yourself. So yeah, there is various ways to go. And remember, in this game, you are drawing every time you're playing a card. So your hand's not going down any, you're cycling cards, which is fantastic. Creepshow Casino, you only get 1 in the deck. I'll quickly read it. Lock as a vampire you control announces an undirected action to give that vampire +1 stealth, even if stealth is not yet needed. Costs you as a Methuselah 2 in the area here, but if you're going for a vote, you'll get +2 votes. If you need to go feed, +2 on the feed, or if you're going to do anything else such as a directed action at no stealth, maybe you want to go for that bleed, which was the Aire of Elation from before, you get the +1 stealth even if it's not needed. Elysium, locked during the polling step of a political action to give each ready titled Camarilla vampire you control +1 vote. Fantastic. You want to get your Camarilla princes out and get this out on the table. Gives them 3 votes essentially. Wow, each. That's a real powerhouse. Now, Enchant Kindred, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of this card. Bleed at +1, so if you wanted to get that +1 stealth first, you could do that, or +1 stealth action, add 2 blood to a younger vampire in your uncontrolled region. So there's 6 of these. You want your larger vampires out first, and then you want these to be doing the job of getting those younger vampires out. Yep, back to it. Bret, don't be paying for him. Try and get him out with Enchant Kindred or any other means. Right, the next vote that we're going to see is one of the most popular ones for this deck. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 copies of it, which tells you how important it is in this deck. Allocate. So you go for the political action. You need to get this through. You've got +1 stealth going at the start. You can use that card to get an extra +1 stealth. What was it? It was the... oh, dang. Here we go. No. Not Elysium. Creepshow Casino. So if you can get Creepshow Casino out, it's a fantastic card. Used to be a really hard card to get. It's fantastic that they've reprinted it and put it in a starter box so everyone can have it. Alright, allocate 4 points among 2 or more Methuselahs. Successful referendum means each Methuselah burns 1 pool for each point allocated. Pretty important because I don't see your bleeds really getting through too effectively, so you're going to have to win the game through political actions. Now, at some points your political actions will get blocked and you'll be in combat. If they are not a combat heavy deck and do not immortal grapple you, thereby you can only play hand strikes, you've always got Majesty. Okay, so Majesty, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it's a major card in the deck. To protect you, strike, combat ends, cost your vampire 1. You know what, if you're in melee and vampires can do aggravated damage or they can do more than 1 damage, we don't know what they can throw at you, maybe combat ends is the step that you want to go with. They might be trying to steal blood as well, but if you can end the combat, that's great. Now as above, and unlock this vampire before combat ends. If you've got that at advanced at the presence, you can unlock and thereby do another action if it's obviously not the same action, especially if it's a bleed or any type of bleed, even with the card. Yeah. Now, Parity Shift, 3, 4 of this card. Alright, choose a Methuselah who has more pool than you do and allocate 3 of their pool between 1 or more of the other Methuselahs, including you. Successful referendum means the chosen Methuselah loses that pool and it is allocated as you choose. So if you need to get votes on the table on your side, you can do that and build up friends at the table. Every deal is binding to a point. Look, in Vampire, if you break your word, good luck trying to get another agreement passed in the future. Other games, doesn't matter if you've broken your word once, out of game knowledge is you get known as someone that breaks your word. It's pretty important to keep your word, yeah, for future games. But then, you know, in keeping the word, then you have to be very careful with what you agree with and make sure that it benefits you for the future. So yeah, I won't bleed you for 2 turns, but after 2 turns, you know, forget about it. Now, I will keep to that, even though it hurts me if something happens at the table, or I come to another agreement with the person in regards to that previous agreement and try and work something out, yeah? Depends how things go. Perfect Paragon. Cost your vampire 1, only usable during the polling step of a political action. This vampire gets +3 votes. Now, at advance, allies and younger vampires get -1 intercept. Wow, yeah. Now, that doesn't say as above. So that's a different ability, costing 1. So only usable during a political polling step of this vampire gets +3 votes. So you can either get +3 votes during the polling step, or you can give a younger vampire -1 intercept on stopping an action. Resist Earth's Grasp. Now, there's a few of these. Now, you had all those Majesty cards. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Resist Earth's Grasp. So this is also another very important card. Costs your vampire 1. Press or maneuver with 1 optional press. Now that's at the basic in the combat. So you can either press to end combat or to continue combat, or maneuver with an optional press. So you can maneuver out to long range, wave if they don't have any way to attack you, and if they press to continue combat, you can press to end combat. The advanced version of that is +1 stealth. So very important card. As you can see, if these guys get into combat, they don't want to stay in combat. Well, this deck doesn't. If you had a Toreador gun deck where they're getting guns, you might use the maneuver and the press to make best use of your gun. Yeah, very good card. Usable in quite a lot of different versions of the deck. This deck, however, doesn't want combat, just wants to get the voting done and bleed where it can. Scalpel Tongue. Only usable during a polling step of a political action. Choose a vampire who has cast votes or ballots in this referendum. Okay? Keep listening, this costs your vampire 1. The chosen vampire is locked and abstains. This cancels the chosen vampire's votes and ballots. As above, and the chosen vampire burns 1 blood at advance. So, very good card. There's 4 of it in there. If someone's voting against you and it's been really annoying, you can stuff them up. And it doesn't have to be younger or anything. Just choose a vampire. Very important. Alright, second tradition domain. They are Camarilla vampires. Requires a prince or a Justicar. So you want your princes out on the table. +2 intercept. Only usable by a locked vampire or Justicar, even if intercept is not yet needed, to burn 1 blood to unlock and attempt to block with +2 intercept. If you really need it, it's there, yeah? Someone could be coming across for a bleed, a big bleed. You got no way to bounce it. You probably need to wake, or someone's going to get some part of equipment or rescue a vampire or go hunting. Anything that you need, you can do the +2 intercept straight off the bat. It's all on the table. And +2 intercept is pretty hard to get over, especially in this current game. Now, Society Hunting Ground. During the unlock phase, already vampire you control gains 1 blood. A vampire can gain blood from only 1 hunting ground each turn. Okay, costs you as a Methuselah 2 pull to get this out. Toreador Grand Ball. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them there. 4 of these costs you as a Methuselah. It is a master card. Here we go. Choose 2 ready Toreador. Pretty important card, this one. You control. Put this card into play and lock 1 of the 2. The locked Toreador does not unlock as normal. The other Toreador's non-bleed actions cannot be blocked. Any minion can burn this card as a D action. Nosferatu get -1 stealth at that action. So, great. If you've got your big vampires out and then you use the Enchant Kindred, I believe it was, to get blood on the younger vampires, get someone like Bret out, then you can put this card into play and lock 1 of the 2. Boom, he's locked. And you've got someone like your Catalina out on the table who can start casting votes and cannot be blocked in doing that. Very powerful card. There's 4 of them in the deck. Yes, anyone can stop that, but then, you know, after Catalina's done her actions, you go to destroy that card and boom, second tradition, she wakes up, +2 intercept, stops that. Next turn comes around, she's voting again. Oh, terrible. Toreador Justicar. Choose a ready Toreador. Successful referendum means this card is put on the chosen Toreador to represent the unique Camarilla title of Toreador Justicar. In the referendum, each ready Toreador gets +1 vote. So each Toreador gets +1 vote in this regard. Wow. Even non-titled Toreador get the +1 vote. So Justicar, very good chance of getting off. When a vampire is made a Justicar, gets 3 votes. Look at this. Going for that. Putting it onto Bret. Yeah, you've got your Camarilla vampires out. Look, Bret's worth... Look, your younger vampires are worth no votes. So putting this on, say, a Catalina, you're only getting 1 extra votes. But you put it on someone smaller like a Bret, all of a sudden you've got an extra 3 votes on the table. Yeah, small generation vampire, but it's a pawn. A pawn to be used, which is right in the world of darkness. Methuselah's doing their strings, manipulating the world for their own means, even by using younger vampires, as everyone can see, yeah. Right, Villein, there's quite a few of them, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the deck, so another important way to get blood or pull into your blood. Put this card on a vampire you control who has any amount of blood and move 2 to 5 blood from that vampire to your pool. Thereby you're able to use that influence again to get more vampires or more things on the table. Now, if a vampire does have this on them, minion tap costs 1 additional pull, and Villein costs 1 additional pull to play on this vampire as well, okay? Alright, that's all the Villein cards. What have we got left? Not many. Oh, jeez. I think that's the last... Yeah, Voter Captivation is the last card. Only usable after referendum of a political action whose referendum has passed. I've talked about this card. This vampire gains 1 blood for each vote by which the referendum passed. Now that's at minor. The vampire gains 1 blood back by the amount that each vote passed. But as above, but move up to 2 of those blood to your pool instead of the vampire. So if your vote passed by like 5, your vampire would get 3 blood, and you can take 2 of the 5 that are passed by to your pool. There's 6 of these in the deck, yeah? Alright, thank you everyone for spending the time. That was the Toreador deck from the V5 box out for Vampire. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I believe, if I am right, we have got one more clan to cover before this series is over, and that will be the Nosferatu in the next video, okay? Thank you all for your time. See you on the next video, and hope you enjoy playing the game and the support that we're supplying. Alright, see you all.